It is time for the HubNut fleet update for October. I'm going to quickly start with the ones out in the rain. You'll notice Perodua Berlingo has a full set of blinds. Is this the start of mini camper nonsense? It just might be. These blinds have been very kindly provided by Fuel Lagoon, who do various accessories for campers, so do check them out. We'll have a closer look in a future video. This pair have been sharing a lot of the daily duty lately. Bella's currently having a rest, hold exhaust, and we're waiting a set of tyres. Ordered some Falcon tyres at a good price, so we're hopefully getting those fitted, and that'll be a video. Betty is just out of hibernation really. She's had a bit of a break, coming out to do some miles while Bella's having a rest because we need the big comfortable cruiser. And this one is not it. Ellie the 2CV has not done many miles lately because the weather's been atrocious, so she's just sitting there waiting, hoping to get Ellie a set of wheels and maybe actually do the engine swap. The engine we built earlier in the year, or rather Colin rebuilt earlier in the year. Subaru, let's get to Subaru. I'm going to come in and talk about Subaru. It's not been plain sailing. We actually did a deal, finalised the deal to sell this car last week on the Friday, and then we went for a drive. And I went for a very spirited drive up a very steep hill. We got to the top, stopped, we actually potted through a village, and I thought everything would have cooled down nicely. We pulled up, smoke started pouring out of the engine bay. It was coming out of the bonnet scoop and out the bonnet sides and everything. I was just like, oh my gosh, I've set the car I've just sold on fire. Genuinely my fault, but we cracked the bonnet. We had just a peak. Never go like that with a bonnet on a car you think might be on fire, but it was, I think, just oil smoke. These cars are absolutely notorious. The rocker covers leak because you've got cylinder heads either side of the engine because it's a flat four, and they leak and oil can pool on the exhaust, and most of the time you might get a little whiff of oil, but if you get it really hot, as we did blasting up this hill, things get rather too exciting. So this is actually going back to Madeira on Havod to have another look at it, and it probably already happened by the time you see this video. So the plan is for them to fit new rocker covers and give it an MOT, because Muggins here forgot the MOT expired. So that's why the Subaru is in the unit. We can't actually drive it because it has no MOT. And another thing we've not really discussed, it's costing a fortune to insure as well. It's another reason this car will be going. Hopefully more on that as it happens, but yeah, Friday this is off. But I guess the big news this update concerns this car. We have actually started on the Mitsubishi Pajero Junior timing belt job, and that's going about as well as you could expect. Most of the spillages have been cleaned up now. Yes, and underneath we bear witness to the sweepings and much liquids that poured forth from said vehicle on trying to get the radiator out. There's a handy little tap on the bottom of the radiator, but we found the coolant ejects at such a pace it goes all over the front cross member and then dribbles absolutely everywhere. And then I realised there's a power steering cooler built into the bottom of the radiator, so I've had to disconnect the power steering, so that's dribbled even more stuff. But what we're struggling with is how on earth to get this out. To get enough access to this and to get the crank pulley off and all the belts and everything, we need to take the radiator out. And while it looks like this should unbolt the slam panel, it in fact doesn't. We've tried prizing this apart, it's not even slightly interested. So we've got very little access. We somehow got to undo the bolts on the back of the fan here, despite having very little access and not being able to lock the pulley, to try and get the fan off so we can pull the fan, the shroud and the radiator out kind of as one unit. There is not space to do anything else. So all in all, it's going really well. We were hoping to have that done as a video this week. Hasn't happened. We've also suffered a snap bolt here, a snap bolt here, and also underneath the tray, which Miss HubNut has very nicely painted a lovely black. We snapped a bolt off getting that off as well. So generally a car that's lived in a damp Welsh shed for a decade not being used has rusty bolts. Who knew? Citroën Charade, we're still not sure what to do with Citroën Charade. She's off the road, declared stolen at the moment. We need to work out what we're going to do with the engine. She's burning oil again. We're not very happy about that. Could do with a steering rack as well. So Citroën Charade resting up again. She's used to spending long periods of time in here, as is poor Tuck, who's still sat here, not being used at the moment and not being improved either. Another year has gone by. Sorry Tuck, must do better. And then of course we've got Desmond the Perodua Kenari back home, and that is the Kenari's been absolutely superb. Took it for a driving lesson yesterday with little Miss HubNut, and we had a really nice time actually, but it just takes so long to do just one driving lesson. I picked her up from school at what time did I pick her up from school? About 11 o'clock in the morning. We drove up towards Aberystwyth because that's where the test centre is going to be. I thought now's the time to start getting her used to the roads there. There'd been a huge collision, multi-car collision on the A487, so we lost almost half an hour waiting for them to tidy that up. And then we got into Aberystwyth, got further delayed because when we changed drivers, we then got caught up in the queue of all the cars that had been stuck at the jam we were in. We were right at the front of it, and it must have been backed up for blooming miles. So yeah, just doing a quick driving lesson, it was about 4 hours by the time we got back home again. Horrendous. Or maybe not 4, maybe more like 3 hours. I think it was getting on for 2 o'clock in the afternoon by the time we got home. It's just not good. Just takes up way too much time. But little Miss HubNut doing very well. Had a very good driving lesson. Shout out to the absolute monumental idiot who at Tesco traffic lights, when little Miss HubNut stalled the car, sometimes happens when you're learning to drive, the L plate's a bit of a clue, decided to honk their horn and get all angry and irate. I was not best pleased. I just about managed to avoid getting out and confronting him. Do people forget that learners are learning to drive and aren't yet all that good at it? She's actually very good at it, but you occasionally stall. You're still getting used to it. But yeah, very good driving lesson. And Desmond the Kenari doing really well, has now hit 52,000 miles. So that's 4,500 miles in our ownership since July. Brilliant. So yeah, very, very good. I think that's it, isn't it? The other one we're missing obviously is Myrtle the Matiz, who is now with Simon. If you're part of the Rustival Friendship Corner Facebook group, you probably already know this. He's been talking about it quite a lot. He's doing a lot of improvement work. So what looked like a trial is going to turn into a permanent sale, I think. He's got yeah, all the right ideas to make Myrtle better. So brilliant. That's all we want. We want to protect the future of the car, and I'm not sure I was protecting the future of the car by having it sat here in a damp barn getting corroded. That's not ideal. But that's where we are. That is the fleet update. We have started this job. I haven't got much time because I've got to go pick the boy up from school for some after school activities, so I don't think I'm even going to get that fan off today. But at some point, hopefully we'll get the timing belt done on this blooming thing, and we can actually start thinking about getting it on the road. Wheels and tyres are the next one, but Bella is the priority for tyres. Ellie probably should be a priority for wheels because one of them is leaking air quite badly, and yeah, then we can start thinking about wheels for this. We want to get it done. We want to get this project finished. We've got our new merch line, ta-da, now available. T-shirts and mugs featuring this car, the Perodua, and the Smart. Just as a bit, we didn't want the Smarts coming and going to be not marked with merchandise. So thought it deserved a cute little thing of its own. So yeah, that is coming. Well, it's now available. In fact, T-shirts £15 plus postage and packaging, and we can post the most parts. We're still struggling with Germany, but we're hoping to get there at some point. But anyway, I need to crack on. I'm going to have another quick go at these bolts and then be on my way. So thank you very much for watching. See you in a future video. Farewell. Oh, spoiler alert, the radiator's out.